Hi guys, in this video I will show you how to connect to a MySQL database from a Java application. I will use IntelliJ to create a new project for this. Click on the New Project button, then make sure that you have Maven selected on the side and click Next, and then select a project name. I will use Java MySQL. Click Finish and wait for the project to be created. Once the project is created, select the pom.xml file. This file has already some basic properties defined. I will add a new element for the build step. This tells Maven to use any dependencies that I will add in the pom.xml file to copy these dependencies into the final jar file. It basically tells Maven that my intent is to build a self-contained application that I can execute and run, versus just building a library that can be used as a dependency for other projects. Next, I need to add a dependency that allows me to connect to MySQL. For that, open a browser and then go to mavenrepository.com. Here you can search for any dependencies that you may need. In my case, I want to have MySQL connector. The very first entry here is MySQL connector /j, J for Java. When I click on this link, I get all the different versions, and I will just use the latest version and copy this into my pom.xml file. So here I'll add a new element, dependencies, and inside I'll add the dependency that I just copied. This is the MySQL connector. It has a group ID, the artifact ID, and the version. Now that I have my pom.xml file complete, I'll go to the terminal and run maven clean compile. Once this is done, you can reload the Maven project by expanding the Maven tab on the side, clicking refresh, and download sources. You can also right-click on the project and then at the bottom select Maven and reload project here or download sources here. So these are the same menu items. Now that that's complete, let's add a new Java file under source main Java. I'll add a new class that I name MySQL example, and here I add a main method. And the first thing, I define a connection string. This connection string tells to use the Java database connectivity and connect to MySQL. It's running on my current computer on port 3306, and it uses the server time zone for UTC. I also need to define the user, which is root, and the password, which is, in my case, 1234. The next thing, I want to use the driver manager and get a connection. Here I pass in the connection string, the user, and the password. This will establish the connection to MySQL. Now this may throw an exception, so I have to wrap it in a try-catch block. And then I declare a variable to get the connection. This one I have to import. Now that I have a connection to the database, I can start to run commands. So essentially what I just did is the same as on the terminal, writing MySQL -u root -p, entering the password, and now I have a connection to MySQL, and I can issue commands here. So in this case, I could, for example, issue show databases. And what I want to do in Java now is run exactly this command, show databases, and print these databases to the console. So let's go back to IntelliJ. What I do here is connection, create statement, I need to import the statement class. And now I can run statement execute query. And here the query I want to run is show databases. I capture the result set. This is basically the results that this query returns. And then I can use an iterator to iterate over this result set. So I use while the result set has a next item. Now, next returns a Boolean. So it tells me, yes, there's a next item, or false, there's no next item. At the same time, it also moves the iterator one forward. Now, this doesn't follow the iterator interface from Java, unfortunately. So this is kind of a custom implementation. If it were to follow the Java iterator interface, we would have has next and then use next inside. So this is a little bit different. Now I want to get the database name, and I get this by using result set.getString and pass in the column index. Column index is 1, so it starts as 1, it's not 0 based. So this will be the very first entry. Now to better understand this, I go back to the console for a moment. So here on the console, we see the table. This is basically the result set. And you can see in this case, there's only a single column. This is named database. But there could potentially be multiple columns. So this is the first column by in index 1. And if I iterate over it, it will iterate over the rows. So first, information schema, employees, MySQL, performance schema, and sys. And then the next method will return false, since there are only 5 rows that it returns. And by calling the method getString index 1, I will always get the first one here in the column. Now, if there were multiple columns, I could call getString1, getString2, getString3, and so on. But in this case, there's only a single column. Now that I have the database name, I type out system.out.println database name, and that's it. Now I run this application. And here on the console, you can now see the output. So there's information schema, employees, MySQL, performance schema, and sys. Those are the databases that exist currently in MySQL. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now you should be able to connect to MySQL database and kind of connect your Java application and process the data in Java. So basically, whatever query you can enter in the console, you can just do execute query and write the query right here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.